Now, how I didn't quit right then and there is beyond me. How I didn't just slap him in the face right then and there is beyond me. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first time you're seeing my face, welcome to it. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you clicking on my face. My name is Jacy and I like to do story times, chit chats, and rants on this channel. And today I have another story time for you guys about a serving experience that is kind of the main reason I quit Cheesecake Factory. So if you guys haven't seen my video yet of all of the reasons I hated working for the Cheesecake Factory, make sure to go check that out because it'll be kind of related to this video. In this video, I'll be talking about a specific incident that happened where, yes, I cried. Okay, is that what you want to know? Yeah, I cried. But also one of the catalysts to me finally quitting that job. So if you like story times like this, or if you like this video while you're watching it, make sure to give this video, so it look like 3D. You guys remember 3D movies? Anyway, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really would help me out. Also, make sure to follow me on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I always have to say it like that because I always end up saying Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You guys get it. But follow me there if you want to see more of my life outside of YouTube. But with that being said, let's get started on this story time. I have my Christmas sweater on and I still have my tree, so I'm still in the festive spirit, but we're gonna get pretty angry in this video because this situation pissed me the heckaroo off. So several years ago, I was working at the Cheesecake Factory. I was still a college student, yada, yada, yada. Go watch that video if you want more background. But it was a Saturday night and I was scheduled to work the night shift and I was put on one of the more difficult sections. So how a restaurant works is you're obviously broken up into different sections and there are more coveted sections from the customer side of things. So of course, customers kind of would prefer to be sat in booths, especially bigger booths with bigger tables, as opposed to like tables with tables and chairs. You know, you always want the booth. It's a universal rule. You got to get the booth. The booths are where it's at. So I was sat in a good section with all of the booths. Now this is kind of pros and cons because it's usually the first tables to get sat. So you make a lot of money because you get a lot of the good clientele who are always getting sat. But it's also hard. It's a hard section because it is where everybody wants to sit and it is where people walk around the restaurant going, well, that booth's open, why can't I sit there? Because there's a system, there's a list, there's a process, sit down, your turn is coming. I'm already getting mad. It was just a crazy busy Saturday night. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I go to this booth and I deliver their food and they need ranch, they need forks, they need refills. Sure, let me keep a mental note of that. Meanwhile, I have to go greet this other table and get their drink orders, bring them their brown bread that everybody loves to devour. I have a third table who they need a booster seat for their kid. They want me to take a photo of their group party and they need extra pasta sauce for their pasta. It was just one of those nights where I was just constantly running around. I was fully in the zone and not even being nice to my tables, I would say. I was just so overwhelmed and panicky that I was just trying to survive and keep my head above water. So I remember being so overwhelmed and in the weeds, as we call it in the business, that I actually went to my manager who kind of like hovers around back. And I asked him like, hey, I just got double sat, a table of 4 and a table of 6. Can you just help me bring waters to their table? Or can you help me bring them bread? Because I still have 3 other tables that I'm running around trying to get them everything that they need that I just kind of need some help before I can even greet them. So I kind of just assumed that my manager would help me out. Unfortunately, that was not the case because as I am taking care of the other 3 tables, the other 2 tables are just kind of sitting there thirsty and parched and just wanting some delicious sourdough and brown bread. And my manager, I guess he was too busy to help me out, but I was kind of like, dang it, I guess I really am on my own here. So I'm at this table for like a decent amount of time, taking this table of 6's order, that I finally make it to the other party of 4. And you know, they're not that happy, they're kind of grumpy, but so am I, because I'm just tired and I'm just doing my best. So I take their order and then I go in and put in the first table's order. So it takes me a hot minute to like get 10 people's drinks, because again, I had just gotten double sat, while also still maintaining my 3 other tables and kind of again doing it all on my own because my managers were not helping me out. So I get all their orders in and it was annoying because half of their drinks came from the bar. So how it worked at the Cheesecake Factory is certain beverages I couldn't make. They had to come from different departments, which is so annoying. But lemonade and strawberry lemonade actually came from our bartender. So it was basically the equivalent of ringing in like a Moscow Mule or a martini. Like you have to wait for your strawberry lemonade. Similarly, if I were to ring in a latte or a cappuccino or a mocha, that actually came from the bakery where all the cheesecakes come out of. So I would have to wait for there. So I remember I had a lot of specialty drinks and I got there in their orders and then I had to go wait by the bar for their strawberry lemonades, which is so annoying because I literally just have to hang out at the bar and be like, hey, Jimmy, how's your night going? All right, some of that lemonade for me? Yeah, thank you. Then I get my lemonade and then take it over there. It's also annoying too because I have to just stand there and wait for my drink, even though in my head I have a million other things to do. Like, oh shoot, they needed extra napkins. Oh no, they needed a to-go box. Oh shoot, I still got to drop off the check and run that credit card. Oh my God, just get me my freaking lemonade. I bring them their drinks. I bring them their bread, their pre-ordered soup, or their salads before their meal. All of the meals come out, basically all 10 meals at the same time, because that's what happens when you get double sat. Kind of, you treat it as one big table. Just one of those nights where everything went wrong, where, you know, the table of 6 that I forgot to ring in no onions or something. This table over here, she didn't realize something came on her steak that she didn't like, so she sent that back. So just the whole rest of the night was just like, it was just really panicky and just very overwhelming. The other thing that I really hate about Cheesecake Factory is what happens when something goes wrong. So the first table, they sent back something because I forgot to put no onions. Now, in any other restaurant where I've worked, I would just walk it straight back to the kitchen, yell at the cook, hey guys, like, my bad, can you remake this with no onions? That's not how it works at the Cheesecake Factory. Whenever there's a mistake, you have to re-ring it in. But in order to get it removed off the menu, you have to tell a manager to comp it off. So basically how the process works is I have to take their dish that was incorrect, take it directly to a manager and be like, hey, I messed up, or they didn't like this, or we need to remove this from the check. I kind of have to almost plead my case to them. And then they go, all right, they delete it off the check, and then they are the ones to re-ring it back in so that they could go back to the kitchen and be like, hey, this one comes first, or hey, make this on the fly. So it was really frustrating because this is a huge reason why I hated working for the Cheesecake Factory is anytime I messed up or anytime a customer just didn't like what they wanted, I had to go plead my case to a manager, waste more time instead of ringing it in right away and getting them their refill basically. And I always just felt like I was on trial. So take the first one, I go to my manager. They didn't want onions on this, like, can I get a new one? And let's say it was a salad or something and it had to be remade because it was tossed in. He would say, well, did you tell them it came with onions? And I'd be like, well, no, it's on the menu. Did you forget to ring it in? Yeah, I forgot to ring in no onions. Well, let's be more careful next time, shall we? And then it's like they're a little bit mad at me. So not right after they send back their thing for the no onions, this table sends back their steak because she didn't realize it had, I think it was wasabi on it. Yeah, it was our hibachi steak and it had wasabi on it, which is like what a freaking hibachi steak is. So I go to my manager not 5 minutes after my last screw up and I say, hey, can you comp this? She didn't like it and we need a new one with no wasabi. And he goes, did you tell her that there was wasabi on it? I was like, no, it was on the menu. And he said, well, did you just forget to ring in no wasabi? And I said, no, this one she just wasn't happy with and she would like it remade and kind of quickly because I've been wasting my time trying to plead my case with you when we could be ringing this in, getting her a new one. So he's just like, another mistake. You know, Jacy, you're costing us a lot of money. You really need to be more careful when you're ringing in these orders. And I was like, whatever. So long story short, I get them all their meals, I bring them everything afterwards, get them their checks, and at this point, I'm just very grumpy. I'm not very happy because it always feels like something was going wrong, but also that my manager was mad at me. It was just a tough night. So the rest of the night goes on, and I have more like little incidences. I don't think I had to send anything back, but I just remember feeling so defeated that it was like that every weekend, how one little thing could go wrong with somebody's dish, and the fact that like it could be entirely their fault that they just didn't like it. And it felt like my managers blamed me, that it was my fault and I wasn't doing a good enough job and that I was losing the company money with my negligence. I mean, I probably was, but still, they were so mean. So you're probably thinking, well, what went wrong? Is that what made you cry? That manager telling you to be more careful? No. What made me cry was what happened the next day. So the next day I go into work. It's a Sunday. I was working Sunday brunch. It was a nice afternoon. I worked, I would say, about 70% of my shift. And I get a little call from one of my other servers and they go, hey, like, can you go to the back and talk to Jim? Like, he wants to talk to you, but I'll watch your section for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, sure. Now, normally I'm one of those people of thinking like, oh my God, I'm about to get fired. Like, this is it. This is the end. But I had such a rough night before, and he was kind of really hard on me that I actually walked into his office thinking like, oh good, I think he's gonna apologize or at least try to change his rhetoric and make it seem more encouraging and more upbeat and like, hey, we all have our rough nights, we all get down in the weeds, but just keep it up. Like, you're doing great, you're doing awesome. That is what I expected. But what happened next in that office can only be told through a skit. I know how you guys love these skits. So before we get into the skit and before I act this out of how insane this meeting went, make sure you guys are subscribed. I'm trying to hit some new subscriber goals in the new year, and I would appreciate if you hit that button if you enjoyed this video so you can join us along for future videos, because I love hanging out with you guys and I like knowing that you're enjoying this content. So hit that subscribe button and let me tell you about this meeting. Hey, Carl, I heard you wanted to see me? Ah, yes, Jacy, come in, have a seat, have a seat. So what's up? I wanted to discuss with you about a little incident that happened last night. Is there anything you want to tell me? An incident? I don't think so. So nothing comes to mind about something that may have happened that you want to tell me about? No, I don't think so. Interesting, because I received a very angry voicemail today from a customer who sat in your section last night and did not have a very good cheesecake experience. What is this, a freaking game show? Can I phone a friend? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Very well. Well, a family of 4 came in and sat in your section, and they said it took you 15 minutes to even greet them. And then when they gave their drink order, it took you another 15 minutes just to bring them their beverages, despite seeing you standing around while they were waiting to get their beverages. When the food arrived, it was not up to par, and the wife said that you didn't tell her that wasabi came on her steak. She didn't like wasabi and she sent it back. You were apparently very rude and unapologetic when her meals were not up to our standards. Not only that, but it took you another half hour to bring her her meal, and you were very unapologetic. By then, the family was completely done eating, that she had lost her appetite and demanded a box to go because she didn't want her family sitting around watching her eat. When you brought her a box, you again never apologized, and she left hungry. Is there anything you'd like to say about this? About this disgrace to the cheesecake name? About this terrible experience you gave a customer? Lots. First of all, I got triple sat and I asked you for help and you did not help me despite walking around in the back watching me crumble and fall while I got triple sat. All of those tables ordered complicated drinks that needed to come from both the bakery and the bar, so I wasn't standing around, I was waiting for their specialty drinks to be made by somebody other than me. I tried to get there as fast as I could, I tried to bring them their drinks as fast as I could, but again, I had 3 tables all at the same time with no help. The lady sent back her steak because something on the menu, which I assume she had read, she didn't like. She sent it back and she ordered it well done. Well done steaks can't just be tip-top made right away. They have to cook to be well done. So I don't know what her problem is there. Interesting. So yeah, I was so backed up in everything that was going wrong that maybe I wasn't as bubbly and personable that I normally am. And she probably took that as me being rude when really I was super overwhelmed because nobody was helping me and the customers weren't being patient. I see. Now when she ordered the steak, did you tell her it had wasabi on it? No, it's on the freaking menu. Very well. And when they ordered lemonades and cappuccinos, did you tell them they'd be coming from different departments and might take a minute? You mean, did I explain to her this series of events of who would be pouring her lemonade and how a cappuccino is made? No, I did not. Understood. And when she asked to have her steak remade well done, did you tell her that that might take a little while? Is this hell? Is this kitchen nightmares? No, I didn't feel the need to explain that when somebody wants something recooked, that it needs time to be cooked. That steaks don't just appear out of thin air, that to be cooked well done, it has to take time to cook. Interesting. Well, I'm really sorry to hear about that, but I think it might be helpful if we heard from the actual customer. Let's give her a call now. I'm sorry, what now? Let me put her on speakerphone. Okay, when I said phone a friend, I did not mean this. Are you serious? Hi, Karen? Yes? Yes, this is Carl from the Cheesecake Factory.
First off, I'd like to sincerely apologize on behalf of our restaurant for the terrible experience you had with us and for the awful behavior of our server. I have her here with us now, so you can tell us a little bit more about what happened. Can you talk to us about your experience last night? Yes. Your server was the most rude, unapologetic, and disrespectful waitress I've ever had in my history of 40 years of eating at restaurants.
That's awful. That's awful.
She not only took forever to greet us, but she took 15 minutes just to bring us our drinks. Mind you, we saw her just walking around and standing around the restaurants while we were parched and dehydrated. Not only that, but she was extremely rude when I politely asked to have my steak remade without wasabi, which, mind you, she never told me it even came with. Then your cooks took 30 whole minutes to make me a new one. I mean, by the time it came out, my family was completely done eating, and we were all too eager to leave that horrible atmosphere that I couldn't even finish my meal and had to take it to go. Your server was a monster, completely unapologetic, a terrible waitress, and a disgrace to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't think we would ever want to dine there again because of her. Karen, again, I am so sincerely apologetic about your experience. Thank you for sharing that with us. Can you again remind us of how you wanted your steak cooked?
Well done.
Well done, I see. Typically with steaks, when you want it ordered well done, it does take a little bit of additional time, hence the extra 30-minute wait that you experienced. So please, we hope you'll understand and do not blame the cooks at all for the additional wait time. That is standard for the industry. However, we do understand you blaming the disgusting, terrible, awful, no good, horrible, horrendous attitude of our server. We sincerely apologize for her behavior towards you, and we can guarantee it will never happen again. On behalf of the Cheesecake Factory, we'd like to offer you a gift card in the amount of $100 in the hopes that you will return and give us another chance. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it, and I hope we'll get a chance to redo this experience for you. Have a wonderful day.
What the actual fuck? And scene. Can you believe the nerve of that man? So basically, to recap what happened, he called the angry customer right in front of me so she could directly yell at me, and he would not defend me at all and instead agreed with her and punished me. So after this meeting, he hangs up the phone and he gives me a write-up. I got a write-up and I don't even know the reason, maybe just like bad service. I don't know, you usually get write-ups when your uniform's dirty too many times, when you like talk back to the manager, when you, I don't know, you just get write-ups for certain things. And I got a write-up for that night. And I had tried to plead my case. I was trying to say, I asked for help and you guys didn't help me. I asked you to grab drinks for them. She wouldn't have said that she waited 15 to 20 minutes for drinks if you didn't help me when I said I needed help. And I was also saying that you guys kept double seating me. I got no help. And he kept trying to turn it on me of, well, maybe you're just not cut out for this restaurant, or maybe you don't have enough experience and we should keep you on some of the easier sections, that you're not ready for a booth section. And oh my gosh, it just broke my heart because I'm sitting here like, dude, this is a serving job. This isn't the United Nations and our country's politics are on the line. Like, this is the Cheesecake Factory. And it just made me so sad that I've never, ever had a manager demean me and demoralize me the way that he did.
JK, I must have completely forgotten about Freddie who fired me.
I look for leadership roles to be a leader, to encourage you, to kind of help you learn from your mistakes. No, instead, he just took all the small little mistakes that I had, nailed it on the head for me, called up an angry customer, and then gave me a write-up for it. And that was just kind of the beginning of the end at my time with Cheesecake Factory, because I found that to be a recurring trend where anytime a customer didn't like their grilled cheese sandwich and I had to go plead my case, they would ask me what I did wrong, why I didn't prepare them for the grilled cheese that they were gonna get. They would turn the blame on me and say that I wasn't doing a good enough job explaining what came in each dish, explaining how it's presented, all that kind of stuff, that everything was my fault. And that is not the environment I like to work in. I like to be uplifted. I like to be acknowledged. I like to be encouraged. And I was not getting that at the Cheesecake Factory. Now, I would like to say that that was that manager in particular. I did have other wonderful managers at the Cheesecake Factory. But again, because of just so much of their corporate processes, it was just not the environment for me. And I did not last much longer at that place. But that's the quick story time of one of my worst nights at the Cheesecake Factory and really the catalyst for why I quit. I am still very angry at that manager, and I hope he's gone to manager workshops and conferences and learned how to build up his team and not tear them down when they make one little mistake after asking for help. That's on you, Jim. But thank you guys for watching this video and bearing with me through my angry rants and my terrible acting. Again, let me know any crazy server story times you guys have. I love it when you share those in the comments because we can all commiserate together of some of the terrible customers and sometimes the terrible managers that we have experienced throughout our careers. So thank you in advance for sharing those. But also, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you're having a safe and wonderful holiday season. Again, make sure to mask up, stay safe out there. I will be going to New York soon, and we will be taking extra precautions because it is getting scary out there again. So everybody just stay safe, but have a wonderful time. I will see you in the next video as it's getting darker and darker on my face. But I'll see you guys next time. Toodles! Watch, you guys want to see me tie a tie? Check this out. Over, over, under, and through. Ooh, I still got those cheesecake skills. And I had an emo phase in high school where I wore neckties without a collar, but we don't talk about that.